surprised if I tell you that if you change the way you manage your organizations and if you achieve that shift in mindset, you can improve employee engagement, performance, innovation, and in a typical company, you can increase profit in 2 years by 200%. In the next half an hour or so, I will show you how this can be done. I will share with you some of the key ideas from my latest book, The Management Shift. And I will talk about the why, the what, and the how of this shift to the new level of thinking and working. This work is my life's work. I've been both an academic and a consultant practitioner for more than 20 years. And all this research is brought together in this book. And I feel this is my life purpose, and I'm on the mission to make this world a better place, working with various leaders and companies globally to help them to go through that shift. And interestingly, for the first time ever, the management shift ideas were launched to the public in Houses of Parliament on Guy Fawkes Night. Some of you here were there on the 5th of November last year. And before I went there, a friend of mine said, "You're not going to blow the parliament, but you will blow up people's minds with your ideas." And you know what? I think we did, because there were fireworks going on inside and outside parliament. Outside the parliament, there were anti-capitalist protesters shouting, "Revolution is solution." And there I was in the ground committee room saying, we need a revolution in management. And although it's all quiet today, I'm sure we can all create some intellectual fireworks together. So, I've been thinking all these years of research and consultancy, how do I distill this in a simple formula? So this is a secret formula for the management shift. P plus P equals P. For now, I'll just let you think about it, and then I will reveal this later. What does this mean? But first, I'm going to cover the key questions. The first one is why. Why business as usual is not an option anymore? Why do we need to shift our mindset and the organizational cultures to the new level of thinking, working, and performing? You will see what needs to be done to achieve this shift to a digital mindset, a shift to more collaborative cultures, more human organizations, and I will show you how this can be done. So let's start with why. Why do we need this shift? Well, we need it because we have a problem. You will see from this small sample of data from various global surveys that only 13% of people are fully engaged at work. 25% of people are passionate about the work that they do. 20% of people trust that their leaders will tell the truth when confronted with a difficult issue. And in the last 50 years, a corporate life expectancy and performance have declined by 75%. So indeed, we do have a problem. And let's think about all these massive names in the world of finance, RBS, Equitable Life, Lehman Brothers. What was it that it caused all these massive giants in the financial world to crash at the beginning of the last recession? Professor Richard Roberts from King's College London has conducted a very extensive research on this topic, and he has discovered 5 key causes of the financial meltdown. Some of the causes relate to problems with the governance, with the processes, with the risks. However, the #1 cause of the financial meltdown was autocratic executives, and many of them bullied their staff. And another issue we need to consider in the context of why is the changing demographics. In a few years' time, 5 to 7 years' time, a majority of the workforce will be millennials. They are digital natives. They want purpose. They want flexibility. They want meaning. They want coaching. They want mentoring. They don't want hierarchies. They don't want to be told what to do. So again, we need to prepare for this changing demographics. So we need to move away from traditional hierarchical command and control based leadership, or leadership 1.0, or traditional where the keywords are hierarchical command and control, standardization, specialization, bureaucratization. All that worked well in a production economy where efficiency was the key, but it is very detrimental for innovation and engagement in modern organizations, which are largely based on knowledge and largely digital. So we need to move and we need to shift towards what I call emergent leadership. And here, the keywords are trust, transparency, purpose, autonomy, self-organizations in communities of passion, giving back to the society, taking care of the environment. So that is leadership 2.0, and this is where organizations have to be if they want to be considered as enterprises 2.0. So that is a big shift from enterprise 1.0 to enterprise 2.0. So I'm going to talk now about the what. So what is going on with individuals and organizations, and what needs to be done to address all these challenges that organizations are facing. Many other management scholars have been researching the what of this shift, and on the basis of a very intensive research in individual and organizational development, I have created the 5-level model, the emergent leadership model, which shows the 5 levels that individuals go through, and there is a corresponding organizational culture at each of the levels. And every level is characterized by a specific mindset, language used, thinking patterns, behavior, leadership behavior, organizational outcomes. So it's very, very different at different levels. So I'm going to just show you a little bit more information about the different levels and what is going on in each of the levels. So let's start with level 1. So this is level 1. The mindset is lifeless, the culture is apathetic, and not much gets done. People are too depressed to do anything. There's a lot of fear, hopelessness. Think about Lehman Brothers when everything collapsed, for example. Luckily, I don't see many places these days operating at level 1. One example could be, think about Alcatraz before it was closed down. So that is the energy, behavior in level 1 organizations at level 1 mindset. And then we shift to level 2. At level 2, the mindset is reluctant and the culture is stagnating. And this is a place where people do a minimum they can get away with. They just do what they have to do to get their paycheck. They bring their body to work, but their mind and heart stay at home. They have long lunch breaks. They sneak out for a workout. So that is level 2. And the example for level 2 leader I selected is Ricky Gervais from TV series Office. A totally uninspiring and patronizing boss. And there's some fantastic videos on YouTube as well where you can see what is the energy of level 2. And then we shift again to level 3. At level 3, the mindset is controlled and the culture is orderly. At level 3, we are told what to do. We tick the boxes. We are micromanaged. We achieve KPIs. But are we going to be very passionate about the work that we do? Are we going to go an extra mile for a customer at level 3? I don't think so. And this is where majority of organizations are. And this is where majority of workspaces are at level 3. So the example I selected is Sir Alan Sugar from TV series Apprentice. And I heard lots of anecdotes how it really is to work with him, from people who work with him. And although I was spoiled for choice, who am I going to select for a level 3 example? I think it's a pretty good example. And you can see some clips on YouTube as well. So levels 1, 2, and 3, that is traditional management, leadership, enterprise 1.0, and then the big shift is between levels 3 and 4. When we shift to level 4, the mindset becomes enthusiastic and the culture becomes collaborative. This is where we can fully utilize the digital mindset. This is where we can achieve amazing innovations. This is where we can have fully engaged employees. This is where the profit goes up. And this is where there is a lot of trust and transparency and autonomy and purpose. And this is where people also have fun working. So that is level 4. As example for level 4, I selected Paul Polman, a CEO of Unilever. And because he's working on taking care of the environment, growing the Unilever, and tackling the global poverty as well. He joined the Unilever in 2009, and the engagement scores went from 50s to 80s, and the share price went from £11 per share, and I think today is about £29 per share, showing that you can do good and you can do well. And this is also a topic for my next book, where I'm interviewing various CEOs, including Paul Polman as well, about how can you do good and do well at the same time and operate from that enterprise 2.0 space. And then occasionally, individuals and organizations can tap into the energy of level 5. At level 5, the mindset is limitless and the culture is unbounded. Anything seems to be possible to achieve at level 5. This is where we have amazing innovations, where specific innovative teams are taken away from the usual organizational boundaries, and they work day and night to achieve some amazing innovations, such as Skunkworks team for Lockheed Martin, or Google X Lab teams inventing, for example, driverless cars or Google Glass. And I've been using the 5-level model for a number of years, also helping C-level executives to shift from level 3 to level 4. And I have also launched in the Individual Shift program, which is a 12-week program to shift leadership teams to level 4. And the program was launched at the City of Glasgow College a few months ago in June. And during the first work, the program consists of pre- and post-assessment, 2 workshops, and free one-to-one coaching session and some self-directed learning to really anchor the mindset to level 4. And during the first workshop with the group of senior leaders from the college, I just asked them towards the end of the workshop, can we just take a group photo, and I'll just show you what they did. They all put level 4 and 5 masks. They're all going like that, and you can see the energy of the room. This is what level 4 or 5 leaders do, and really having fun working and really embracing this. So, some years ago, also, I realized that shifting one leader or shifting one leadership team at a time was not good enough, and it was not fast enough for me. I had to figure out how to help the entire organization to shift to level 4 culture, and how to help many organizations to shift to level 4 culture at the same time. So I went back to my research, and I did a lot of more research and looked into data from dozens of case studies, hundreds of interviews, lots of references, and I created a framework with around 150 factors that drive innovation, value creation, profit in organizations. And I grouped that framework in 6 key areas, and this is how the 6-box leadership model was created. So this is the how of the management shift, and this is the model. And I developed an online diagnostic tool, which I've been using in various organizations all over the world to help them identify hidden strengths and weaknesses in those 6 areas, so we can measure what kind of culture organization has. Relationships, how well people work together. Individuals, what kind of mindset and motivation and skills people have. Strategy, how it gets developed and executed. Resources and systems, how the work gets done. So I call this an organizational body scan. It's like an MRI for companies. So it shows what is hidden and what is good and what is not so good. And the first phase with diagnostic is just like a temperature check, and then in the next phase we prescribe the medicine. So we work with the company to develop a specific 1-year plan for individual and organizational action to leverage strengths and address weaknesses. There are lots of stories. Some of the case studies are described in the book as well. But I will just briefly share with you 2 different stories to illustrate how this diagnostics works. So the first story is about Peter, who was a business development director for a Nordic IT company. He asked me to do the 6-box diagnostic scan, and he came to London, and he was very, very excited. He couldn't wait to go back and to work on action planning and implementation of some of the recommendations that came out from the scan. And I haven't heard from him for a while, and I was wondering, what is going on with Peter? Finally, some weeks later, I got a phone call from him, and basically he said, I resigned. So what happened was, he realized that his boss, the managing director, was clearly anchored at level 3. He was not interested to implement action planning. Instead, he increased his formal control and the power. So Peter said, I can't work for level 3 boss anymore. So he's now a very successful independent consultant. But the company, everything went down because of more control at level 3. So more people resigned. I think there was about 20% of consultants' time idle, and also the revenue went down for about 18% within 6 months. And then a different story is a story about Jack, who is a level 4 CEO of management consultancy in the US. And he wanted to do the 6-box leadership diagnostic to see how they can develop strategy for growth. So we did diagnostic, we did action planning, they implemented the action plan, they completely redesigned their intranet system to improve internal collaboration and communication, they changed some HR processes, and so on. And within 18 months, they doubled in size, so they went from 9 to 18 consultants, and the revenue grew by about 500%. So shifting to level 4 is very powerful, or if you don't shift, you could have problems, as these stories would indicate. So shifting up the levels is very important, because when we are shifting to higher levels, we create ripples. Because the neuroscience shows how, with our mirror neuron brain cells, we emulate and we mimic the moods and emotions of people around us. So if you have a lot of people with level 4 mindset, the digital mindset, with collaborative mindset, it will spread like a ripple. And vice versa, if you have a lot of people stuck at the lower levels, it will be really hard to shift up. So it is very important. And another issue that is also very important that I want to mention is purpose. Because research on strategy shows when companies find a higher purpose, they do better financially. Research on engagement shows when employees find meaning in their work, they become more engaged. And research in happiness shows that when people find meaning in their lives, they become happier. So finding this purpose for individuals and for company and aligning these two purposes is a very, very powerful tool, which can also help to create those enterprises 2.0. So I was supposed to have reveal this in 2 steps and ask you what P plus P means, but you can see the answer. So the secret formula of the management shift, P plus P equals P, means if you marry people with a purpose, you get more profit. Or in the public sector, if you marry people and purpose, you get pride in service. So this is the essence of the management shift. And I hope that something you heard in this talk has inspired you to start creating some positive ripples around you and in your organizations, because that can create some very powerful effects for your teams, for organizations, and for society. Because if you have a lot of organizations at level 4, a lot of enterprises 2.0, then the whole world will shift, and I think this is priceless. Thank you. These are my contact details, and I'll be delighted to hear from anyone.
Thank you.